legislature gave us an extra couple of days to pre-canvass and open these up early, we would have had this done by election night. Instead, by law, we had to open them up at 7 a.m. on election day.
My last question for you is, what percentage of the mail-in ballots that you have counted arrived late and are being put in a separate pile, perhaps for legal action?
As of today, we've received 57,066 ballots at this point. Those have been received by 8 p.m. on November 3rd. As of this moment here right now, we have not received any additional ballots at this point. Now, the mail may be coming. If they are segregated, they will be put to the side.
You only expect about a few hundred ballots to be segregated when it's all said and done.
We think a very small number here in Luzerne County. Most people came out to the polls or voted by mail. We're ready to go here.
All right, and Brett, at the end of the day here, Luzerne County went to the president by some 20 points in 2016. He is now leading Luzerne County right now by 22 points, a very important county for the president. And as you can see, the mail-in ballot, 0 ballots have been segregated and put to the side because they have arrived late out of the 57,000 so far. Brett?
Brian, when you get off here, please thank David and his staff for their patriotic duty, because this is big time. This is important stuff. And just to remind everybody, you're wearing a mask, and we're in the middle of a pandemic, and people are working to go through these ballots. Let me just ask you a quick question. They have, you're saying 1.2 million now? It was 1.4 overnight. 1.2 million?
It's now at 1.2 million ballots that now that's according to the state dashboard, which, by the way, is supposed to be giving real-time information. But as the Secretary of State said, these counties are delayed in bringing in the results. But the latest data is it's at 50%. 50% of the mail-in ballots have been counted. And by the way, those ballots are breaking for Biden at a 3-to-1 rate. Okay, so that's what we're seeing. That's also consistent here in Luzerne County. And again, Luzerne County, they plan on counting all the way through the evening. They hope to be done tonight, probably tomorrow morning, with some about 27,000 ballots here left. And again, you were right, Brett, 50 employees here. There are about 5 or 6 air purifiers in this room. We're being asked to kind of leave and come back to try to, but it's a packed room. And these folks have been working so hard, 7 a.m. yesterday, all the way through the night, and they'll be back here, and they're continuing to do this. They're going to have a lunch break soon and work all the way through the night.
I mean, that's a civic duty,
we're in
and
the middle of a pandemic.
It's really a big deal. So, Brian, thank you. If your camera operator could lock in on those people working those ballots, we'll take some live shots as we continue discussion of this state. Brian Yanis, thank you very much.
Yeah, and great to have our cameras in there watching them do their work today. Let's bring in Katie Pavlich, Town Hall editor, and Marie Harp, executive director of Serve America PAC. Both are Fox News contributors. Hi, guys. Good to have you with us this morning. I thought it was very interesting in the conversation that Brian Yanis had with the head of the commission there, the Electoral Commission in Luzerne County, who was clearly, Marie, unhappy that the state of Pennsylvania didn't do what so many other states did and let them open these ballots before the election so that they could get a jump on the ones that had already come in.
Absolutely, Martha. And we have been talking about this for months. We were talking back in the summer about things states should be doing then to make sure that they could quickly handle this onslaught of what we knew were going to be mail-in and absentee ballots because of the pandemic. But the folks on the ground are going to work. We saw those folks in Pennsylvania. They're going through these ballots. They're doing their job. And they're doing that against the backdrop of a lot of noise, particularly coming out of the White House and President Trump, possibly some legal action, as you were talking about earlier. So keeping those folks in mind right now, they're just counting ballots, which is the heart of democracy. And all this other noise, I think, will continue for a few days. All eyes, of course, will be on those counts in Pennsylvania.
You know, Katie, I look at these images live in Pennsylvania, and I think of the image back in Tallahassee of that one guy holding up the ballot with the glasses looking at the hanging Chad. And, you know, I was down there for 37 days and nights, but these folks are going through each and every ballot. And what's going to happen is there will be some percentage of those mail-in ballots that are contested, that they don't have signatures, that there's something wrong with them. And then that's going to be a part of this process as well.
Well, I'd be interested, Brett, in your over-under on whether this will be more than 37 days or fewer than 37 days as we move forward with the 2020 election. You're over to the under. I mean, if you look at this image that you're seeing on the screen right now, and it really is just all encompassing of the year that we've had with the pandemic, with the warnings about these mass mail-in voting. And there are major questions now from the Trump campaign about why vote counting is taking so long, not just in Pennsylvania, but in places like Nevada as well. And then we talk about noise. Well, the Biden campaign, the lawyer for the Biden campaign is now declaring victory for him and saying they're going to defend the election. So the Trump campaign has sent out a number of different talking points this morning, a lot of material about how they will fight this out in the courts if they have to. The Biden campaign is doing the same thing. In terms of the specific ballots, there are big questions about signature matching, postmark dates, the end date for when votes can be counted after they were received by Election Day. And so these are all very serious questions, and a lot of this has been playing out in Pennsylvania in the courts already. And the Trump lawyers and the Biden lawyers are going to have to find other legal issues that have not already been litigated or decided by the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania to get this through to the next level.
Yeah, we just saw one of the women in the room hold up an envelope, and then a man comes over, takes it from her. Obviously, that goes into the disputed pile. So, I mean,
You see her wave it? You know, it's just
like,
kind of.
I got one that maybe doesn't have a signature or something along those lines. Marie, before we let you go, I just want to get your big picture take on the Senate and the House. Pretty surprising outcome from what was anticipated last night.
Absolutely, Martha. Democrats woke up this morning cautiously optimistic that Joe Biden will win Michigan and Wisconsin and become the next president, but feeling pretty down about the Senate and the House. I think they had their expectations probably falsely high about the Senate. There's still a small path through Georgia and Maine for Democrats to take the Senate back, but I think there will be a lot of discussion inside the party about the millions and millions of dollars that Democrats spent in places like Kentucky and South Carolina that were always long shots. And when it comes to the House, very briefly, this just shows that the 2020 electorate was very different than the 2018 electorate that gave this blue wave to Democrats in the House. When Donald Trump was on the ballot, a lot of those moderates that won in swing states in 2018 on the Democratic side just couldn't overcome the Trump wave. That's what we saw last night. It wasn't predicted. It was a surprise, but it's not shocking when you dig into some of the data this morning.
Marie, I have just 20 seconds, but do you think the Democrats have to figure out a way to talk to the other side? You know, we requested former Vice President Biden every week, probably twice, 3 times a week, to come on the show. He never did. Neither did Senator Harris. But half of the country voted for Donald Trump. And I think there are Democrats saying, wait, what happened? I missed this.
Yeah. I think both sides need to figure out how to talk to each other a lot better, Brett, honestly. Clearly, we are a very divided country, and Democrats were hoping for a blowout, and they didn't get it. And they're waking up this morning saying, how can we have those conversations? Is it in the media? Is it around the dinner table? That's going to be happening, I think, in the Democratic Party, and I hope it is in the Republican Party as well.
Thanks,
All right, guys,
Brett, can I just respond to that real
Katie,
quickly?
real quick.